next topic we want to discuss is what Alabama fans are going to want to talk about probably the entire summer, and that is the quarterback battle, because everybody wants to know who's going to be Alabama's quarterback next season. With you being a former Alabama player, what are, not just naming a guy, but whoever going to be the starting quarterback, what do you want to see from that guy for you to have faith that he's going to be the guy that leads Alabama to success next season?
I want to see a quarterback. Not. I want to see him in a football helmet only. I don't want to see him on an ad. I don't want to see him on the commercial. I don't want to see him holding up a bag. Get your ass in a playbook and learn and do your mother freaking job. You make sure these front five in front of you are doing their job. You make sure these NASCARs on the outside are being taken care of. It is too commercial. That's what I don't want to see. I want to see an asshole back there in the quarterback where almost like Hollywood Joe when he was cool ass quarterback. You know what I'm saying? When he ain't rattled, you know what I'm saying? And you know when he play, he play. And if he's one of these quarterbacks, it's two type of quarterbacks I really love. Hollywood Joe, and then give me one that's like Johnny Manziel. He don't care, you know. Hey, he hung over the next day, but when he laid them cleats up, baby, you know he finna put on the show. Some players are just like that. Those are one or two quarterbacks I would like to see. Somebody like a Hollywood Joe demeanor, meaning every time we step on this field, we got a chance to win. Or you have one that's just, hey man, I'm AI. We talking about practice. No, let's talk about this game, and I'm finna put up 42 on you. That's what you need in your driver's seat. And I think we had, I'm not sure. Now, anybody can make film look good. Film ain't what it used to be, because you got these boys now, they can do some crazy stuff with that camera, man. Yeah. They can make I'm finna say a tall midget. Tall person look like he's 6'11". You know what I'm saying? So yeah. You can do wonders with that camera. I'm excited to see what these boys are going to look like in the spring. So I don't know. Now I'm a fan of Ty Simpson. I think he should have played a little bit more this year. So I'm interested to see exactly, are they going to give him the keys to the car? Now I know I often criticized the play calling last year, and I was rightfully so, because it was unseasoned chicken for sure. You had two probably first, second round draft picks in that backfield running the ball. There's no way I'm running my quarterback more than I'm running them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's definitely one of my criticisms of the offense. I think a lot of people criticize because of the lack of running the football. One of my biggest pet peeves, I'm not sure if a lot of people were critical of this. I feel like there were too many sets with two tight ends. I don't think you had the tight end play that demanded you to have two tight ends on the football field. I think you needed one tight end. And if you had two, you needed somebody to create separation. I feel like Jalen Miro is not the type of thread the needle accurate quarterback, and those tight ends are not creating separation. And now fans are wondering why Ryan Williams is getting 19 targets. I'm gonna throw it to Ryan.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them. Why the hell 19 passes in a game when you have 5 or 6 receivers on that sideline? I don't think it should have been out of the 5 receivers. I even think the freshman should have played. Is that Odom? I think that's his name.
You know, the tall receiver, 6'5".
Tall receiver. Like, you got to feed your dogs, man. There's no reason he shouldn't have had at least 200 yards on the season, 300 yards on the season. You know what I'm saying? We saw no creativity. We didn't see any double moves. I didn't see one wide shake. I don't even think we saw a comeback this past year. I don't even think we seen a post corner. All I saw was a weak ass stair step. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 1 or 2. The middle of the field wide open. We're not attacking. Well, he can't do it. Well, put him in a position. Let's see. You know what I'm saying? If I'm paying you all this doggone money, you gonna do something.
Yeah, for sure. I do think. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with you on that. I do feel like there was a lack of opportunity for Jalen Miro in that offense, and I'm one of the people. Unfortunately for Jalen Miro, I don't think he ever had an offensive coordinator that said, "Hey, we're gonna put you in position to do what you do best." I feel like Nick Sheridan. I feel like he failed at it. I feel like Tommy Reese failed at it, because I feel like Jalen Miro has a unique skill set. Of course, there's some parts of his game that he has to improve on. He has to get better at. Everyone knows that, but I feel like None of his offensive coordinators, unfortunately, put him in the absolute best position based on his skill set.
Man, Justin, you said a mouthful there. My question to you or to the fans are these analysts that are analysts. Why the fuck do you need an analyst when you're the offensive coordinator? That's like the NBA. People wonder why the ratings are down. Everybody game is the same. It's either 3-point ball or I'm doing a layup. There's no creativity. Everybody's running the same offense. Same thing in football. That's all I'm saying. It's like there's no creativity right now. The best team in football, if you just ask me team to team, person player to player, is Notre. I even have to say it, Notre Dame. But you got guys, they are all ball in. And they're not even that good. It's not even that they're out. They're more. I would say that's probably they're more organized than everybody. And whoever that they got over there, they absolutely love them. But my question to these people, the all OCs, you got analysts on the job. If I'm an OC, I'm going based on what I'm seeing and how I feel and what the moment is presenting. They pay you that amount of money for you to be the OC for a reason. I don't need buddy back here telling me what to do. It's 4th and 1. Should we run it? I think we're 80%. Man, fudge all of that. What's the energy? Are we at home or are we away?
Yeah.
Do I trust my offensive line in front of me or do I question this quarterback? And I don't know. Like, what are y'all doing in practice? I kid you not. You watched the bowl game. How much time did they have out? 2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah. Running time. Yeah.
That game looked like it was watching cold paint dry.
Yeah.
It's terrible. You didn't even want to watch it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that offense definitely looked. To be honest, to me, it was like what we saw all season. To me, it was like, yo, this offense is what it is at this particular point in the season. Like you said, I feel like more receivers should have got an opportunity to play. I feel like 2 tight ends were in way too much. I think most of the time should have had another wide receiver in. You wonder why so many wide receivers entered the portal, because go back and look at their snap counts. So you can go back and look at the game. A lot of times those guys were on the sideline. Kobe Prentice was on the sideline like a dangerous amount of times. You feel like, yo, Kobe isn't getting like any snaps, and Odom would play like the first snap of the game and then he'd disappear like the rest of the game. So I definitely agree with you on that. Like, Alabama's offense has a lot to prove and a lot to show this spring. Like I said, spring is going to be valuable because we're going to get an opportunity to see if things are going to look different in year 2, or they trying to go with the same type of scheme. And of course, next season will be when we really get to see what they are going to do at the on the offensive side of football in multiple positions. But just focusing on the quarterback position, like I said, I like Tyson Simpson in terms of his skill set and the way that he plays. I feel like when Saban was here, I feel like he toned his game down a little bit, because if you go back and look at Simpson's huddle, of course, like you said, huddle is, like I always tell people, it's kind of always hard to grade a guy by this huddle, because huddle is this my highlight film, man. This is me at my very best. I'm not putting my bad plays on here, and that's why I always value when I'm evaluating guys, to try to get the fans the best view of this guy. I want to see him in person. Like, I want to try my best to see him in person as much as possible. Most likely in a game. That's where you can see at least you see if some flaw shows up, and kind of like, so you can give people the best evaluation. And I saw Keelon Russell at the Under Armour All-America game, and he looked pretty good, pretty confident. And one of the things I like, at least from a quarterback, to get recruited to play Power 5, you got to make all the throws. I feel like that's like the minimum thing. Like, you got to make all the throws. Everybody got to be able to do that to play Power 5 football. But he was consistent too, and I feel like that's kind of like the next step. I guess for him to come in and really push, it all depends on if he comes in, like you said, and be a leader. He has shown flashes of that. Has played at Duncanville High School in Texas, one of the toughest classifications inside of that state, and he has been productive, winning multiple state championships. So, with you being a former player, what would a freshman have to do at quarterback to come in and demand the team's respect and take that position in your mind?
Just got it. You know, some players that just have an air about them. It's just a certainty that you can't explain. A a person that pretty much comes in knowing exactly what they want. Um, Prime example is when Julio came in. Like Julio, I mean, you had guys just as fast, they can run routes, all of this. I was 6'3", maybe weighing 4 or 5 pounds more than me. When Coach Saban said he changed the room, a lot of people you may take it the wrong way, but he wasn't talking about just from a talent standpoint. Right, I got my first dunk in 7th grade. We had guys on our football team that could have been two-sport college athletes. We were that deep and that good. But he came in with a plan, knowing exactly what he wanted. And what I mean by that is he knew what it took to be a pro. Now, granted, I feel like they gave him those resources as well, but he raised the level of competition in that room. Uh, Never complained, always on time, always had his notes in, efficient, and just was about his business. It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? It's not just talent level. There's a certain air that you have to have in order to embody that leadership role. You know what I'm saying? It's not all your leaders aren't like Coach Saban. Coach Saban is like real little,
Yeah.
but he's smart enough. He's a CEO. Let me put real good people around me to make my team better. He has an ego, but I have an ego to know that I got to get better pieces around me. And that's what I think a true leader is. It's not so much talent, but it's vision. Is the quarterback that's coming in a visionary? Can he win the team over? Because like I know, we're gonna even if I'm a senior and I got a freshman quarterback come in, I'm watching him from the time he walk in to the time he leave them first couple weeks. How is this man assertive? Is he on time for practice? Is he in his film book? How does he interact with the teammate? Is he building the team up? Is he destroying the team? Is he we, or is it me? It's a difference. So that's what it'll have to take to be a freshman. He got to win over the staff, the team, and it's just a different type of confidence, man. You don't see it all the time because he's a freshman. It's almost like you expect them to mess up, but when they do exceed it, man, you give them a different type of confidence, man. So I think it's going to come down to the maturity level, and it's going to come down to the assertiveness that he's going to bring to that facility.
And I think that's why, like what you're talking about, I think that's why some people are high on Russell, because just on what they have seen, the confidence that he shows and the confidence that comes from him when you see him talk. Like, for anybody who interviewed him during the Under Armour All America practices and games, he said he's coming to start. Like, I'm coming to compete. I'm coming to start. Matter of fact, I'm coming to compete is probably like selling him short, because he didn't say compete. He said he's coming to start and take positions like in every interview. So at least from what he's saying and like the way that he's talking, the confidence that he's showing, he seems to have that type of attitude. But of course, everyone knows it's not all about, kind of like what you said earlier, it's not all about the talking. It's like what you do day in and day out, and what those older guys will see from him once he walks through that door and once he gets some more time under his belt. So it will be interesting to see just what exactly Alabama will do at the quarterback position during the spring, because the spring is really like, I guess, our first glance of kind of like where the quarterback battle would be at that particular point in time.
And that's the thing, man. I agree. That's cool, man. He's high on himself. I'm the biggest shit talker in the world, but I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say it on camera if I'm coming. You gotta humble yourself. I don't know the man. I didn't even see the interview. Um, but it's just like, man, you better be careful, man. You don't want to kick over no ant bed. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
Ty Simpson has been in this program. You know what I'm saying? Don't create no enemies when you don't have to have any. You know what I'm saying? Come in. Let's work together. We all rowing in the same direction. Let me learn. What does he do well? Is I call it B&B. It's business for business. You know what I'm saying? This guy, what is Tyson? He'll be a junior, senior next year. Which one?
I mean, I'm 100% sure he's got 3 years in the program. I think he's already graduated. I think he's going to the
Have two
senior
more
team.
year red
Yeah,
shirt. Yeah. So
yeah.
he probably these are guys you got to learn from, man. Yeah, you competing, but I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? It's always a competitive day, but hey, don't write no check. Get your ass can't cash now.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's why it's going to be a battle. And I think that's kind of like why everyone is looking at it. Like I said, Ty Simpson has that experience, and I think he's a guy who has waited, and he signed with Alabama knowing he would have to wait. Like as soon as during his like high school interviews, he would always tell everybody, "Yo, I'm well aware that I probably have to wait 3 years before I get an opportunity to play." And just knowing that he had that mentality back then, you would think that he's been working for this opportunity in terms of doing everything behind the scenes. Like I said, learning the playbook, learning what he needs to do once his opportunity comes, and it has arrived for him to take the reins if he's going to be Alabama's next starting quarterback. So we're going to talk about that starting quarterback battle for, like I said, the next few months. The spring will be, I guess, our first glance at how this quarterback battle will look.